Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Where have you been? You guys are slacking. Why haven't you helped me this Saturday morning on this weed eater? We got to go through this machine, finish it up. I've already started messing with it since I couldn't get you out of bed. I already started it. This was one of the mystery machines I had ended up. The wind's blowing my Super Tech around. Little breezy here in Southwest Florida, about 65 degrees and comfortable. I got a long sleeve shirt on. So 2 mowers were left at my door, side yard, and nobody's claimed responsibility for the 2 that were left. So I'm going through the weed eater now. The other machine, I believe, was a TURD. I think I did a video on those, but I didn't do one on this weed eater. So usually when there's an issue of some sort in the world, the culprit takes responsibility for their actions, but not this time around. This is a 2009. I can give you the engine number. We'll go down and look at the model number of the weed eater. This happens to be the engine 10 Tango 502 1022 Bravo 1 09052055, 5th month, 20th day of 09. So let me give you the weed eater number and then we'll discuss what I've done so far. As you can see, I've already started working on this recoil. Here's the beauty ring. It's got a 22-inch blade and it's the 5 horsepower, 158 cc. We'll discuss the blade. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff. You guys finally show up. The 9611400150 is the model number. Assembled in USA, McRae, Georgia, weed eater. Serial 121709 Mike 1010090. Good shape. We looked at this thing already. I threw a little bit of gloss black paint on the case when I had it all torn down, degreased it, tightened up the head bolts, went around and tightened up anything else I could find that needed attention. So let's talk about the blade and then we'll work our way to the top. So this is the blade that was on it, probably original blade from 09. Got some wear here and some sandblasting on the high side. So we got another one here I'm going to throw on. You can see old versus new. All this has been worn down, so they got some use out of this blade, it would appear. I'm replacing it with the Stens 340-062 is the Stens. It's got a 5/8 inch center hole. It says it fits the AYP 22-inch walk-behind models, which would correspond with this weed eater. The original AYP numbers, the 532406707 is the original blade number. If you like Oregon products, 195-021. But this happens to be made in China. The STINS number again, 340-062. They're a big producer of aftermarket replacement parts in the small engine industry. So we're going to put that on. Let's discuss the recoil. That was one of the issues with this thing when I got it. We have no bail bar, and the cable's in place. The recoil was broken here. Whoever dumped this in my yard wrapped the recoil rope around both units to signify they came in as a package deal, but still a mystery who that was. So the recoil on this machine happens to be a 3-holer. You got one hole here in the middle to attach it to the block, and then 2 on the side. It just so happens the recoil's a 3-holer as well versus the 4-holer, which you would find on other Briggs engines. That'll have 4 holes on the recoil replacement as well. So I just took my grinder and ground off the pop rivets here and threw some stove bolts in here to hold the new recoil. You can buy these stove bolt kits at Harbor Freight or the Big Jungle Company, Amazon. You get this 125 piece. They'll have a 500 piece. So I just took the smallest ones here, matched it up with the corresponding nut. These little nut and bolt storehouses come in handy. I also got this on, I believe it was Temu, 480 piece lock washer, and I'm using the M5, which is the 50 piece bin here. I used 3 of these small lockdowns on the underside to keep it from moving around. So I'll have to look up the part number for the recoil. I don't have it here, but I bought I believe a 6-pack of these because I didn't have any of the 3-holers in stock. So you can go to the Big Jungle Company or Fleabay, and I think if you order 4 or more, you can get them for $7 or $8, maybe $10. They're not very expensive. The more you buy, the less they are, which I do because I can always use these. These are kind of getting rare and extinct, but I still do get these older machines in. So there is a number here. It may be their manufacturing number, and it says it's for Sprint engines made in China. So I'll try to remember to put the part number down below for that. So the smallest nut and bolts in that storehouse fit these things once you grind the pop rivets off. Okay, so that's that. What else are we going to do here? The blade so far. Oh, we'll talk about the carburetor. Well, let's put the blade on, then we'll talk about the carb. And I have a diaphragm rebuild kit part number for you. I'm just getting motivated with a little Mountain Dew. Let's do the do. So I've got vice grips on it. We got to add oil since I don't have the bail brake bar to try to start this thing. So I'm going to tip it over and put the blade on. Since I don't have any oil or there's no carb on, I'm not going to worry about which way I turn this thing, because there's nothing that's going to pour out of this right now. I'm looking at the adapter number. It looks like it's the 851514 if you wanted the adapter, 851514. Going to take a little grease, put it on my adapter, and then I'm going to put a little grease up here on this washer, something like that. Okay, where were we at? I'm looking for my breaker bar. We got a 9/16 socket on here. So, as you recall, last year there was a benefit auction for Haiti. It happens every year, and it happens in January, end of January, at the Sarasota County Fairgrounds. It's put on by the Amish and the Mennonite community locally. So I had donated 2 mowers last year. I know one of the organizers is a customer of mine. So I think I'm going to do the same thing again this year. I'm going to donate a couple of used machines. I think this one here may be a good candidate. Last year I delivered a newer style plastic style engine with the plastic tank carburetor and one of these older pulses. So maybe I'll do the same thing this year. This would be a good candidate to donate so they can make some money. Okay, so that's taken care of. Let's turn it around. We'll put the carb on next. I already greased up the wheels since you guys couldn't get out of bed. I got tired of waiting for you. So where's the carby carb? Here we go. This carb wasn't in bad shape as far as rust and contamination in there, but I did take the carb off, rebuild it, and blasted out the tank with some compressed air. The rebuild kits, or the diaphragm kits, 495770. 495770. And they're very easy to remove. The diaphragm kit, Phillips heads, the plastic carburetor comes off. You want to make sure you put the rubber down against the metal tank, the paper gasket on top, and then reinsert your carburetor. So let me manipulate this thing into place. And I may be missing one screw. No, we got it. So let me get organized. I need a 10 millimeter out here for the side of the tank. So I got that there, and we need 1/2 inch for the big bolt. That's a halfie. And I got my halfie. Halfie for taffy. So you guys gonna get crazy for New Year's? Or are you gonna take it easy? Stay safe, stay off the road. The once a year amateurs get out there and create havoc. You know what I mean? The other issue I had is I had broke the air vane getting it off. The plastic broke there, so I went to my junk section and stole another weather vane off of a dead machine. So it's great here weather-wise in Southwest Florida. We're going to have a good week. Generally from January 1st all the way into March and April, all the snowbirds come down. Most of them stay up north to have the holidays with the family. If they're retirees, they stick around and enjoy the holidays up north, and they come down here and cause havoc for the rest of us locals. When I say havoc, I just mean as far as their driving skills. Sometimes they're not sure where they are or where they're going, and they make spontaneous 4-lane changes in order to make a right-hand turn, which can be quite thrilling for everybody else on the road. Okay, so this is coming along. Let me put the recoil on. I think we can do that without any issue. I'm not going to oil up the recoil since it came from the factory. Okay, let me put these 3 bolts in. This had a lot of surface rust on the recoil. I just took some Lowe's store brand gloss black and blew over the recoil once with some paint. This plastic trim piece is going to cover most of the recoil. Okay, this one here is going in kind of wonky. I may have to try to shift this thing around a little bit. No, we got it. So I got to tally up my sales for the year. I got over 130 sold, maybe 132. I don't want to call it quits yet because somebody messaged me about a machine today. So I may have another sale here before the end of the year. I don't think I sold many last year in the winter time. This season's been exceptionally good for sales. Okay, so this is a mistake on my part. You never tighten all three down until you have all three started, because the tin on this back one's off just a little bit. I'm acting like a shade tree mechanic, which is fine because sometimes I do work under the shade. But that's mechanics 101. You don't start cranking them down until you get them all started, because that last hole would be slightly off and not, the bolt doesn't want to thread. Okay, make my pass, little tidy on all of them. Now we're good. I'm going to add oil, and then we're coming along. Grab my gas can, put some highly flammable liquid into that hole, and if everything goes right, it'll start. Okay, we got to put the dipstick tube in as well. I've got the sheet metal screws for that, so I'm going to get this thing started with a little bit of oil, and then put the dipstick tube on. Somebody's coming into town. Who is it today? Looks like United. Yeah, United. They got a nice color scheme on their equipment. Okay. Got the dipstick tube, the couple of sheet metals. I think they're 1/4-inch drive. Let me grab a 1/4-inch socket, which I know I had here earlier. Okay. Come on, 1/4. Where did you go? Aha. Success. So what else? The Mayaka head 10 for 100. The junk mowers I got, 2 of them were this Pulsa style. They both need recoils, and they need to be gone through. I've come up with the plan to call that Grandpa to come out. He came out with his grandsons a while back, and he took one pressure washer that I had, no hose or anything, with a 3.5 horsepower Pulsa jet engine. So I told him after the first of the year I would try to find something, because it was two brothers, and as it is, they each wanted their own project, and I only had the one pressure washer. So I think I'm going to give them those two pulses I have. They both need recoil, so what I'll do, since I paid 10 for them, I'll charge them 5 for the recoil, so 15 each. I'll tell Grandpa to come get them, $30 for both machines, and I'll give him the recoil, so that'll save him a little time ordering a recoil. So I think they'll have fun with those. One of those I think has a rusty deck, the other one's not in bad shape. So that'll get those turds out of my hair, and I won't have to deal with them. Let's see how we're doing on oil. It's been slow as far as getting mowers. Talked to one of my scrappers, and he said it's dead as far as picking is concerned, just because people are messing around with Christmas. They're not cleaning out their shed or putting anything out to the street. But what you'll find now is bicycles, kids' bikes. They get a new bike for Christmas. The old one with 2 flats goes to the street. Not so much for mowers right now. You'll get mowers in the springtime. People go to start them, pull them out of the garage. They have 10% ethanol fuel. They won't start. Then they'll go to the street right around May, when the grass starts growing. They go out, try to run the machine, and it don't run. Oh, wow. Perfect. Just a little tad over, but that'll be fine. If it's an oil burner, that'll burn off. So that's perfect. Now let's throw some highly flammable liquid into this turd. I'll try to do as many projects as I can this weekend. Weather's going to be great. Got to take advantage of it, because summertime's on the way. It'll be 110 heat index here in August, and that's when it's unbearable being out here trying to mess with these turds. Fresh Wawa gas. I'll try not to pour any on Mr. Cluck. Okay, just under a half a tank. That's going to be plenty. Let's see if it primes. Okay, it's priming. Nice shot of gas. Okay, let's keep going. Vice grip is in place. Brought out a new filter. When you put these on, the arrow points to the back, like so. I'm going to take a little motor oil and put it on the filter. something like that. Just do a little squeezy squeeze. Get rid of my frustration here with the squeezy ball. So I think we're going to be in good shape. When I was messing around with this thing, moving the flywheel, it felt like it had good compression. I went ahead and took some sandpaper and got rid of some of that surface rust on the flywheel as I was twisting it. It had fantastic compression. So I don't think there'll be an issue with this thing starting. New blade, like I said, this thing's going to be a good candidate for the benefit auction for Haiti at the end of January. Okay. I think they got 110 or 120 for the Pulsar style that I gave him, and then he had the newer style, like I mentioned. I think he got 180 for that, which is more than what I get when I sell them, the Pulsar style. But it is a benefit auction. People tend to pay more because they know the money's going to a good cause. I think I told you they auctioned off just a coffee cup, and it went for $500 or $600. Just a plain Jane coffee cup. It was just a way to raise money. They could have auctioned off a roll of toilet paper. It would have been the same thing. Could take an expensive crap. Let me turn this thing around because my pull rope's here, and I got you right up against my CRV. I need room to pull on this thing. Plus you can see the exhaust smoke or burn off. I spray painted the little bit of surface rust here with some gloss black, so I'm sure that's going to smoke a little bit. Let me put Mr. Chicken and Mr. Snake here. They're going to keep an eye on things. If anything goes terribly wrong, they're going to let me know. Oiled up the wheel adjusters, put some grease on the axles. Okay, let's go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's that all about? Pull the plug off because I think the blade may be rubbing against something. Darn it, it is. Okay, let's start this thing over. It's always fun and exciting at Tommy time. You never know when it's going to go to shit. Okay, what are we hitting? It is a 22-inch machine, and that is a 22-inch blade. It's not hitting anything down here. it's hitting something up here on the recoil. Bear with me. Let me grab a 10 and remove this. See what the heck we're hitting. Okay. Hang on. I should have had my impact out here for this. I thought maybe I hadn't clamped it good enough with the vice grips. Okay, what are we hitting? Okay, I see what it is. That's my fault. I know what the issue is. I got to use another washer. This bolt back here was actually hitting the air fins. You can see all the tips of the fins here are shiny. It's where this bolt was hitting. These two appear to be higher and not doing anything. It's because I put a couple of washers on those two, and I didn't have a washer around, so I got to put a washer here to raise up the length of that. That's what our issue was. So let me remove that, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to look for another small washer to give me clearance. Which I think I have one, or I can use one of those lock washers. I think I know where I got another small washer. So easily rectifiable, not catastrophic here. Found our mistake. Give me a second. I got a little container with nuts and bolts and junk. I'm going to look at my washer section. I think I got another small one that'll fit. That's way too big. I got to go with the smallest one in here. Okay. I got something. And I may even put a lock washer on top as well. Just to make sure we're copacetic. Yeah, that should do it. Okay, I'll put it all back together again. That should give us clearance. Yeah, we're looking good. The only thing is it may make the beauty ring ride a little higher when I put the beauty ring on after I'm done with you guys. So I put another big flat one and then a lock washer in between to give me some height. You can see how it brought up the bolt. It's higher than the others. So if these two weren't rubbing, this one's going to clear it nicely. Nothing like an end of the year project that goes semi wrong, but easily rectifiable. I'll take that small screw up any day of the week. We fix that in a couple of minutes with some re-engineering. Did you notice I put the bolt in the hole that gave me the issue first? See? You can always teach an old shade tree mechanic some new tricks. And you always can learn something new, even zip tie certification. You old guys can learn something. You can become zip tie certified for those quick and easy repairs on the fly. Okay. A little tidy. Make one more pass and then see if we're free and clear. Pull the plug off again. Let me use two hands here. I just want to check the blade one more time. Plug is still detached. Blade's fine. I do hear a little noise. I don't know if it's the coil or what. Coil making contact. Okay, replug the wire. Give it one more shot since we've been messing around for a little while. I don't know what that banging is. I can hear some rubbing when I let the recoil retract. It's just the paint burning off. So what do you think? I'd like to know what that rattly rattle is. A little high RPM at startup, but it smoothed itself out. I'm going to try it one more time. Okay, started, but then my vice grip bounced off, so I think we're done with this. Weedeater 22-inch 500 series, 2009. Anyway, thanks for coming out. Happy Saturday. I worked up a sweat. It's time to rejuvenate. I'll throw something else at you tomorrow. Not sure if I'm going to donate this one or not until I figure out why it's got that rattle. There's got to be a piece of tin somewhere that's loose. It didn't sound too bad right there when I was messing with it. So who knows? Yeah, I'm going to sit a little high here on the recoil beauty ring just because of the bolts here and the extra washers. But that's fine. It'll clamp down and stay in place once I bolt it. Have a good night. Be safe this weekend. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you checking out this Weedeater TURD. Have a good day. Tip your waitress and wait staff if you go out. They really look forward to the generous tips during the holidays. Have a good day.